Hello, and welcome to Coaching Youth Sports at the YMCA. We're so grateful for your help and the impact that you'll have on our young athletes this season. My name is Joe Kleesner, and I'm a sports director for the Gateway Region YMCA. Over the next few minutes, we'll review the focus for the season, some basic concepts that you should focus on accomplishing by the conclusion of the season, some clarifications on a few rules, and some basic drills to help get the season started. Your local sports director is always available as well, so if after this video you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to your local sports director and they'll be more than happy to provide you with the support that you need and to answer any questions. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let's start with our kindergarten through second grade divisions. Let's remember to keep our goals and focus simple for this age group, as this is probably their first time playing for most of these kids. First, let's ensure that players understand that when the ball is hit, we want to throw the ball to first base. We know that as players grow older, they'll be throwing to other bases, but for these youngsters, we want to keep the focus on throwing to first base and trying to hit the first baseman in the chest with the ball. In our kindergarten through second league, players will receive 3 pitches from a coach. In the event that they are not able to hit any of those pitches, the ball will be placed on a tee and the players will then hit from the tee. Your goal by the end of the season should be for each player on your team to be able to hit off the coach's pitch at least one at bat during the game. Your sports director will provide you with a copy of the rules for the season, but we want to point out a few specifics as well. In our kindergarten through second grade leagues, coaches will pitch 3 pitches. If players are not able to hit any of those pitches, they will switch to the tee to hit. All players will hit in their half of the inning and no outs will be recorded. In order for a ball to be put in play to be considered a hit, it must travel at least 10 feet from home plate. For our kindergarten leagues, if a player is ruled out, that player will stay on the bases. In our first and second grade leagues, if a player is ruled out, that player will be taken off the bases, but we do not record that as an out, nor will it affect the end of the inning, as players will bat each half inning. So let's move on to our third and fourth grade divisions. In our third and fourth grade divisions, coaches will pitch the first 4 weeks of the season, and players will pitch the final 3 weeks. So it's important to focus early on finding players that are interested in pitching and want to put in the extra work to pitch. Our focus is on identifying those players and getting them to understand the importance of being able to throw strikes. We want those players to understand that pitching will also take work outside of practice. Another focus for this season is focusing on proper swing mechanics and when to lay off a pitch and when to swing. In our third and fourth grade leagues, umpires will be keeping count and calling balls and strikes. So be sure your players really focus on where the strike zone is and how the count will be called out. For example, a 2-0 count means 2 balls, 0 strikes. A 1-2 count means 1 ball, 2 strikes, etc. Moving on to some basic rules for our third and fourth grade division. Like we said earlier, in third and fourth grade, coaches will pitch the first 4 weeks of the season, and then players will pitch the final 3 weeks. There will always be a catcher receiving pitches even when our coaches are pitching for the first 4 weeks. We will have umpires that will be calling balls and strikes. Teams will have a 6-run minimum per each half inning. So once a team reaches their 6 runs, teams will switch from offense to defense. For third and fourth grade leagues, pitchers are able to pitch a maximum of 2 innings. Now let's move on to our 5th and 6th grade divisions. Since 5th and 6th grade leagues are player pitch only, a heavy focus this season should be put on identifying players who want to pitch at the first practice. Be sure to work with these pitchers each practice, focusing on the importance of throwing strikes and understanding the strike zone. Also, make sure your fielders understand where to throw the ball in different situations, such as getting out the lead runner instead of throwing to first. So now let's move on to some rules for the 5th and 6th grade divisions. For 5th and 6th grade, players will pitch the entire season. Pitchers are able to pitch a maximum of 3 innings. Bunting is allowed. We do have a 6-run rule per half inning. And no leadoffs are allowed, but stealing is allowed once the ball has left the pitcher's hand. Now, as we mentioned, these are just some of the basic rules that we wanted to go over in detail. Please be sure to check your rules packet given to you by your sports director for additional rules and regulations for the season.
Hi, my name is Julie Murphy, and I am a sports director with the Gateway Region YMCA. I'm going to take you through a few drills just to kind of get you started in those first couple practices. Your sports director does have a list of drills and activities that are age appropriate to your team. So if you need some more support after this video, feel free to reach out to your sports director. We would be happy to provide those for you. All right, so hey, for our first drill, we are going to do just basic throwing progression. We're going to keep it real simple and add to our throw as we go. So the first thing we're going to do is have your players get on their knees they're going to start with their hips facing one another. As they're receiving, their hips will stay facing one another. Whenever they're going to throw, they will get the ball, they're going to take it back, make two 90-degree angles. So it's important to use the analogy like they're going to tell time. So our front wrist with our glove is going to be telling time. The ball is going to be back behind us in a 90-degree angle. We're going to turn our hips so they're open. Now I'm just going to simply rotate to my partner. My partner's going to catch, my hips are again open, and he's going to turn and throw back to me. So we're going to keep that real simple, just two 90-degree angles, right at our partner, stay open to receive. It's also important while you're receiving, talk to your players about keeping their glove up. Focus the whole time on receiving and throwing, not just one mechanic at a time. So we're here, up, rotate, through. We recommend doing about 10 to 15 throws on our knee. Then we're gonna stand up. Use the analogy of a power line. So my line is gonna go straight through my feet, right to my partner. So I'm on a line, my hips are open. I'm gonna do that 90-degree angle again. My partner's ready to receive. I'm gonna turn, throw right to my partner. He's gonna get on his power line and throw back. Again, those 90-degree angles. As you go through those, you can add in another step. So now that we've gotten that, where we're just using our hips, we can get back on that power line. So we're still using that power line straight to our partner. I can get my hips going. Now I'm gonna step to my partner and throw. So now we're adding in the next step of stepping. So now I'm gonna step to my partner and throw. Again, we're doing about 10 to 15 of each throws. Once you get those throws down, we're gonna step back a little bit, and now we're gonna continue to throw. So now I'm here, stepping in, now I'm getting those hips into my throw, and my throws are getting a little further apart. Focus with your kids. Every drill should continue to work up. So each drill is gonna build upon one another. So here, I'm still using my same techniques as I used whenever I was on my knee. You'll work through those, you'll extend your throws out, and continue to get those legs underneath you and build as you go. All right, our next drill, we're gonna just do some ground ball progression. This can be staggered as we start with our kindergartners and work up through our more advanced players. You can use these for all ages. So we're just gonna talk to our kids about being down in an athletic position, bend our knees, our hands are always gonna be out in front of us. This is gonna be our same fundamental setup for if we're playing infield or outfield, but we're gonna be down, our toes pointed in a little bit, our glove out in front of us, and then we're just gonna focus on stepping towards the ball, bringing it up to our belly. So whenever we're gonna just basically roll balls to our kids, here, they should be focused on rolling it in. So here, just real soft. With our younger kids, we can talk about the analogy of being an alligator and pulling it up. As we get older, we can add in our glove. As we get older, we can add in our glove. Now we're gonna work on making our kids move side to side. So our balls, we're gonna keep our kids just moving on a linear line. We're gonna go here, side to side. They should work on sliding their feet. Still bringing it up to their belly. As they get older, another step you can throw in, one of our focuses is throwing to the base. So fielding the ball, taking that into a throwing position. So here, we're gonna field the ball and get into that throwing position. All right, as our players get older, we want them to focus on taking bigger angles to the ball, not just moving side to side, giving them more time. So suggest having the players set up in a triangle with 2 cones behind them. Their focus is going to be on taking a giant step back, getting to that cone. So you're going to roll the ball towards the cone. They'll set up here in that throwing position. Simple hitting drill is just have players get down on one knee. For this drill, we took the tee out, so we only have the bottom half of the tee. This will be plenty high for your players. We're gonna have them hold the bat with one arm, so their front arm, they'll probably have to hold the bat up a little bit higher so they have control. We want our players to focus on taking the knob of the bat right to the ball. So they're gonna get set just like they're hitting, come here, just focus on driving through the ball all the way to extension. So here, and that's it. All right, so our next drill is just simple soft toss. So you can have a volunteer coach or parent that's just gonna kneel down in front of the kiddo about 5 feet away. They will toss the ball. We wanna focus on tossing the ball out in front. So we're focusing on making contact out in front, just having a real simple swing. So just here, right to the ball. You can focus on different points of their swing. So getting to extension, getting all the way around. So you can focus on different areas of their swing throughout soft toss, but just simple soft toss, 5 to 10 tosses, switch players and get more players in there. So we're getting a lot of repetition.
Lastly, please remember that team coaches are responsible for the conduct of themselves, their fans, and their players. The YMCA strives to create a positive learning experience for all sports participants. Coaches should always encourage and never discourage their players. They should be positive and stay away from negative comments or remarks to their players, opposing players, and the umpires. Again, guys, thank you so much for volunteering to be a sports coach with the YMCA. We're so grateful for the impact that you're going to have on our players this season. Looking forward to it.